Welcome to our PMP prep based on the PMP exam content outline and the PMP exam immersion book. Today, we are tackling task 2 in people, lead a team. Leadership will be all over your exam and it's important you get it down pat. Let's take a look at this question. The project team, consisting of diverse cultural backgrounds and working styles, is experiencing low morale and reduced productivity following a series of challenging technical setbacks. The team members appear disengaged and communication has become minimal. What is the project manager's most effective leadership action to re-energize the team and restore productivity? Is it A, implement reliable, robust performance monitoring and individual accountability measures to identify and address underperforming team members swiftly through coaching, training, and mentoring? Or is it B, organize a mandatory team building retreat focused on recreational activities to improve interpersonal relationships and foster a sense of camaraderie? Or is it C, conduct one-on-one sessions to understand personal challenges and concerns, then a facilitated team session to collectively acknowledge setbacks and redefine immediate achievable goals? Or is it D, delegate leadership responsibilities to senior team members, empowering them to resolve internal issues and motivate their peers? Take some time to think about the answer. All right, my friends, let's take a look at this in critical detail. Now, what exactly is the problem here? It says the project team is diverse, but that is not the problem. They've got different working styles, but that is not the problem. This is the problem right here. They are experiencing low morale and reduced productivity. So the productivity has been reduced. What we can infer from this is that things were once upon a time perhaps going well. It says, following a series of challenging technical setbacks, the team members appear disengaged and communication has become minimal. But it stems from this: reduced productivity, low morale, leading to reduced productivity. And it says, what is the project manager's most effective, keyword being leadership action? You're trying to re-energize these folks and restore productivity. So let's take a look at A. A at first glance sounds intelligent and it sounds leadership oriented until you dig deeper. Implement reliable, robust performance monitoring. Now that is against the grain of what is happening now. We don't need performance monitoring. We already know that we have issues. And then it says individual accountability measures, which means measuring people and saying, this is how you are performing. And it says to identify and address underperforming team members. Now, this could backfire if the team understands what you're trying to do, because you're pinning the blame on so-called underperforming team members. This may not be the best way to proceed with a team issue. This sounds like an overarching team issue. And then it butters it up by sounding like it's positive by saying, address underperforming team members swiftly through coaching, training, and mentoring. Honestly, from this question, I can tell that this is likely not the problem or the fix. The problem isn't the individual underperforming team members. This is a team thing. And that's why the question is, what is your most effective leadership action to re-energize? It didn't just say a few people. It said the team and restore productivity. This may actually further hinder productivity. It's not the best answer. Let's go to B. Organize a mandatory team building retreat. Sounds like going to boot camp, focused on recreational activities to improve interpersonal relationships and foster a sense of camaraderie. But that doesn't seem to be the problem here. The problem doesn't seem to be the interpersonal relationships. So going off site to play pool or to go swimming and all that stuff, while it's good, it's kind of putting a band-aid on the real issue at hand. Now, option C goes into conducting one-on-one sessions to understand personal setbacks and concerns. So with this, people are likely to feel heard. And then on top of that, it says, then a facilitated team session to collectively acknowledge setbacks. So we're not burying the truth by just going to play pool and have fun off site. We're going to acknowledge the setbacks, and we're going to redefine immediate achievable goals, and that's going to boost their morale. It's likely to catalyze. But let's go to option D and see if it's any different. Delegate leadership responsibilities to senior team members, empowering them to resolve internal issues and motivate their peers. Now, while that sounds positive, it's generally not what you will do in the time of a crisis. This is a crisis. This is where you need to step up, because it says, what is the project manager's most effective leadership action? You got to wear that leadership hat. Even when it says, what is the project manager's, you got to see that as being you. So what is your most effective leadership action? It's not to delegate. This is not a time to delegate. So with that said, my friends, the answer is C. This is the best answer. To re-energize a disengaged team, a project manager needs to apply empathetic leadership, conducting individual sessions to understand the root cause, then facilitating a collective session to acknowledge challenges, celebrate progress, and collaboratively set new goals. That needs to be the general path. Okay? So this builds trust, engagement, and a renewed sense of purpose. A, B, and D are less effective for addressing underlying morale issues. In fact, it could backfire. Okay. Now, with that said, you understand that leadership is a very vast area on the PMP exam. First of all, you need to understand leadership is different from power. It's not the same as position and title. You could be a great leader even without the position and title. You also need to understand that there is such a thing as situational leadership. And this is talked about in the Hersey-Blanchard model. You need to understand you could be directive, you could be coaching, you could be supporting, or you could be delegating. And also understanding just in general servant leadership. The 10 tenets of servant leadership will help you. And the servant leadership posture that should echo throughout Agile. These things need to be in the forefront of your prep. When you see a question like this, you need to be able to sniff what is wrong with the options given. Like this one that says, addressing underperforming team members. That right there is against the grain of the Agile leader mindset. And a lot of the questions on the exam, they will have the undercurrent of, oh, get the underperforming people, punish them, throw them out, or coach them, train them. These are all tricks. You need to be aware of such for the exam. Also, when you see the word mandatory team building, the word mandatory, immediately I can see that as being against the grain, you see, because it comes from a place of forcing. It's definitely not the best way to proceed with a team. Oh, you all need to come off site. You're all defective. Let's correct you. No, we don't want that. Okay. So you got to understand, in the world of leadership, when PMI gives you questions, what they're looking for is dialogue. They're looking for empathy. They're looking for an understanding of the team, not for you to lord it over them and to beat them into submission. That's definitely not what we want. And then delegating leadership responsibilities is definitely not what we want to do either. We don't want to pass the buck. We need to say passing the buck stops here, and that's what accountability is all about. Okay? So with that, my friends, I hope you found value from this one. Smash the like button, subscribe, and you will be able to watch more videos as they become available. What we are going to do is slow down. I've got a lot of videos where I've got 500 questions, 10 hours of questions, all that stuff. But this is different. This is getting you to internalize each task one by one. I need you to sit back and ask, okay, people task 2. Here's a sample question, but beyond this, going into leadership at a much grander scale, how do I feel about that? I hope this helps you. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.